add a bit more into the self-massage. So body brushing is a great way of boosting and clearing through the torso. But so is self-pumping and self-massage. So Tim talked a little bit at the beginning about the pumping techniques that would be employed by osteopaths during the Spanish flu. I'd just like to demonstrate a little bit on how to kickstart and then drain through your own body. So through kickstarting in the thoracic ducts and then draining your own arms and legs and tummy. And Ivana's going to show us some techniques then on how to drain everything from the throat and the face, which, like was mentioned at the beginning, is when it's your first line of defense. So your first line of defense being your face, your last line of defense being the thoracic duct, which is where all of the waste fluid drains to before it's then purified, which are situated, you have our collarbone here, and just beneath the collarbone, quite often you will notice there's a little bit of additional inflammation. It doesn't matter if your fingers aren't as sensitive as ours, but just right under in this sort of diamond area that follows under the clavicle is where your ducts will sit. So the thoracic duct on the left being the main one. So in order to self-massage and self-pump, what I'd recommend, so we've got this little bit of a dip in the palm of our hand here, that we run that along this area of the chest right below the clavicle, the collarbone, until we feel that depression there is just slightly filled, and we can get almost like a bit of a suction and a pump onto the duct here. And then all I'm doing is just gradually I'm flattening and opening my hand. So the lymphatic system lymphatic massage relies on very gentle massage to stimulate the system. When I say gentle, if you're just to stroke your skin, you're not having an effect on anything below other than the nervous system. Whereas if you're to sort of massage in your skin, you're going to reach the muscle underneath. You kind of want to go somewhere between the two, so you just get a little bit of a depression, maybe a millimeter or so into the skin, and that's just going to send that little bit of suction, which is going to send that lymph fluid through the duct. So in order to drain this duct here, say finding that depression in your hand, letting it sit, and then we're just going to be gently pumping around 20 times. And we will do the other side. And I do find you can do both sides together. Just find your pumping in there, and then we can do gently pumping under the clavicle and starting to get that kickstart into the lymphatic system. So this is something you could do again in the morning, perhaps before you get out of bed, or if you're feeling congested, or if you're worried and you want to boost your system, let's say 20 times. And then what I'll get you to do is then measure. Has it gone down a little bit? Mine has. And you should find that you don't actually depress as easily into that area anymore. Keep going. So repeat this sort of 4 to 5 times. Like Belly already mentioned, the more you can do this, the more you're going to benefit. So we would spend probably sort of 15 to 20 minutes clearing through this area with our massage clients if you were to book a lymphatic drainage massage with us at Massage Therapy. But when you're draining yourself, again, if you can perhaps put on some meditation music and just fall into a pattern of this gentle pumping. So this gentle pumping can also be used on the lymph nodes. So we have 2 main sets of lymph nodes for the body. So Ivana's going to demonstrate the lymph nodes for the head and the throat in a moment, but I'll demonstrate for the arms and the legs. So under the underarm, there are a set of lymph nodes, and they're also situated in the groin. So when you're coming for the groin, you can just kind of let your hands sort of slide up, so you've got your pubic area in the middle, and you can be pumping down into the groin. So there are a lot of lymph nodes situated in that sort of crease between the pubic area and the thigh, where you can be gently pumping in. Just to demonstrate what that is on the underarm. Again, we're going to find that depression in the area here. And we're just going to gently be pumping the lymph node. Having my arm up in the air not only gives me access, but another thing we're working on here is gravity. So that you may, if you are struggling from home with missing your lymphatic drainage massage, it might be that you have puffy ankles and legs. This is because this is the lowest part of the body, being that gravity draws all the fluid down to the bottom of the body. And then when the system is sluggish, it hasn't got that movement to kickstart and to get that lymph flowing up to this high point of the body where it needs to be. So using gravity is also going to help that flow. So what you can do, I think Tim's going to demonstrate a little bit for us in how to give some good positions for the leg. With your arm, I suggest if you pop it up on a rest above the arch of the sofa. And then what I'm going to employ is a scooping technique. Very gentle. Like I say, you don't want to just be stroking the skin. You don't want to be massaging the skin. You want to just put a millimetre or so in and just drawing down nice and slowly. So when I'm teaching this to therapists, the analogy that I like to use is if you imagine you have a bathtub. Sorry, Belly, can I just say, is there a background noise going on in your screen? I can hear a bit of a background noise.
Not here, not with me.
It's not with you, no worries. Sorry if there's a bit of disturbance on the line. We are having a morning of technical difficulties. But let me just come back to this analogy because I really like this one when you're applying a lymphatic drainage technique. If you imagine you have a bathtub full of soapy suds that you're draining out and you're trying to drain and then collect all those suds so they fit down the plug hole. And if you think about your lymphatic system in a similar way, the lymph nodes are very small, as Tim said in the beginning, some of them are as small as a pinhead. And you have this backup of fluid which you're trying to then send through that filter. So when we are providing the massage, so first of all, you need to clear the filter. So this is clearing the plug hole so that we may then filter the soap suds down through. So you come from all angles. And when you get a feel for this, you get a feel for that arm I've provided a bit of clearing on, is that it allows you to go. So we're not just going to go whoosh and go straight through it. We're going to come really slowly. So we're coming at the pace that it wants us to come. So what that is just applying a little bit of tension, not enough that we're going to squeeze it and stop, not enough that we're going to glide straight off of it, but just enough that we feel a little bit of friction as we gradually feel that, oh, see that one a little bit quicker? The soap suds are now clearing into the plug hole and we can pump. So you'll cover the whole area as you go. You can sort of be self-draining through the back of the neck, through the legs. This can also be applied to the abdomen in a diamond shape, where this is really satisfying for those of you who do get abdominal bloating. So what this one will look like is a diamond shape coming down from the rib cage round to the side of the body, and then again gathering those soap suds in that plug hole, the draining into the nose, which sit at the lower part of the abdomen, where if you're female, your ovaries would be, but across the sort of pubic line. So by using this diamond technique, you can clear a bloated stomach, and also the pumping technique for the lymph nodes will be just as you sit just above where the underwear line is, and you can just be pumping into those and clearing through. So that should give you a few techniques to clear through the upper part of the body.